So let's see what Captain Grady's gonna do here.
I Is that different in V Trigger? No,
I don't
I
think
I
so.
don't think that's different in V Trigger.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So this is what we were talking about before, where you're kind of trying to play your own game, but you're not taking into consideration what your opponent's doing.
Yes.
So we saw Captain Grady just do an EX command grab out of nowhere, while while Cedric, or not Cedric, sorry, while Edwin was in the air. So is that one of those things where like you commit to a decision and you go for it, doesn't matter what's gonna happen, or is that just a panic type of thing?
That just looks like panic to me. I mean, the whole thing looked like panic because, like, of I would say unfamiliarity with the Birdie matchup as a Laura player, or just not having like the like a strong enough neutral game
Hmm.
to be able to control, Birdie and get those last couple hits in from a safe distance. And it could also come down to not being like just thinking of what you want and not considering what the opponent wants. Like I think to me, like the fight is a conversation, and if you are only talking and not listening to what the other person's saying, it's not much of a conversation,
Right.
and we don't really have a discussion. It's just kind of like one person. It's like fucking telegraph. You just fucking put in the message, you send it, and then the other person puts in their message and sends it. But like, there's no sort of like discussion.
Hmm.
There's no debate. There's no
Right.
argument. It's just a one way, just a one way communication sent by each player.
Right. So what's the best way to get rid of that habit where you're just in a bubble, like in your own bubble, and you're not taking into any consideration what your opponent's doing? Is does that just come with more playing time, or is there like?
No, no. It comes by realizing that there's more to the game than just doing what you want. Because even though we like to joke, oh, it's fucking one, like Marvel, like, oh,
Yeah.
Marvel's a one player game, blah, blah, blah.
Hmm.
Like, that's maybe that mentality can work in Marvel, but it still doesn't. It's not,
Right.
it's not like serious, like you actually do have to think about what your opponent wants. And so the only way to do that, or not the only way, but one way to do that
Hmm.
could be to try to build the habit of listening in the same way that, like, your, you know, like if your girlfriend or your relationship, the person you're in a relationship with, complains that you don't listen to them, like the way you do some things is the way you do everything. So how do we build the habit of listening? Well, you could just say, all right, well, I'm not, whatever. I'm not gonna fuck around and rank because my points are too valuable.
Hmm.
So I'm just gonna try to, like, okay, can we
Yeah,
invite some of
we'll
these
get
guys?
some people in here.
All right, so we can invite, or sorry, we can use like casual matches or battle lounge to essentially work on one new thing at a time, which would be like focusing on listening in the first round. So how do you listen in the game? Well, you listen by not trying to run your own game plan, but just trying to gather as much information or listen as much to the opponent as you can by doing things like trying to keep them at like a mid range and really like just trying to focus on anti airing if they jump. You can listen by knocking them down and then, let's say, walking or dashing up to them, but not attacking. You just see what they do on wake up. You
Right.
could, when they knock you down, you just decide to block, or you just decide to block because you're essentially trying to see what they do. So if you dedicate the first round to to listening, I mean, like John Choi, Street Fighter legend, says the first round is always data. So how much data can you collect on your opponent? Well, you can probably collect a lot less data if you're trying to run your own game. versus trying to see what they do. And you, I would argue that it's easier to collect data when you're not sending so much of your own data
Right.
over over the interwebs.
Right. So from what it sounds like, it's just taking a more passive approach in the beginning of a match, right?
Yeah,
So it's building your game plan on the go. It's not having a set game plan. Well, it's okay. Sorry, that's not a
no,
good way of putting it.
build that into your set, like
Right.
build listening into your game plan.
Right. Right. So it's the ability to modify your game plan with what your opponent is doing.
Yeah.
Right.
So you say, all right, well, like my game plan with Birdie, you know, involves pushing them to the corner and keeping them generally away from them until I have V trigger. Uh, so see, like right there, like you know, you can put the banana down, but then why go for command? Why go for like the dolphin dive right there?
Right.
And what happened? Like Proxy was just holding up.
Mhm.
So like right here, yeah. See, I like that. Like he knocks him down, and then waits and see what he does. Let's see right there. He didn't wait,
Yep.
and so what happens? He just does wake up because he wasn't thinking about what what the opponent might say in that situation, and he's gonna say, "Well, I got fucking EX and V trigger, so fuck you."
Right.
That's what he said. And like, if you don't think about what the opponent wants, then you just put yourself in those situations. And of course, like there are situations, whatever, last game, last round, you really got to make a decision.
Mhm.
But like first round, first game, second round, first game, like you really don't have to go in that hard and take like super huge risks that if they pay off, they don't end the round for you. And
Right.
if they pay off, they don't end the round. And if they don't pay off, now like right there, same situation, right? Like he, oh god, please activate V trigger, Jesus Christ. Um, like the same situation happened both times. Like
Mhm.
he puts him in a knockdown situation where he has him cornered, and Edwin does EX bullhorn on wake up, but like Cedric is not, he's not listening. He's not listening to what happened the first time.
Right.